Body bags were horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I am your Sunday night reviewer, soon to be your Tuesday night reviewer. Tonight's review, I decided to bring you the 1983 Nicholas Meyer. Yeah, Nicholas, I think Russ Meyer. It's not Russ Meyer. Nicholas Meyer's The Day After. So this is a nuclear disaster movie, basically, set in Kansas, Harrisonville and Kansas, Missouri. So what we have, we're following, we basically mainly follow this like one doctor. He's spotted around. You follow like it's one family. This mom and pop work on a farm. They have like three kids and a dog sort of thing. We have this old doctor. We follow this one particular soldier as well who's working on the base. Basically in Missouri you have all of these missile silos, and that's why you have all these soldiers on site. Now, as we're getting to learn all the characters, all the background sort of thing, we have all these, you hear bits and pieces on the radio, on the news, it's starting to focus in more and more about basically the escalation of like what's happening with like Russia and Germany. This is right when it's East and West Germany. And there's issues like NATO's there's all these different things, and basically there's an attack, West Germany shuts down the border with East Germany, so cutting it off from like NATO and everything. A couple of Russian jets attack some NATO supply base. That there's these warships going on. You don't see this. This is all kind of, this comes across in the news. It's on the TV and on the radio. But we are brought into it more and more because we beginning to see the concern on the people, on the characters in this movie. And then there's this moment where all these basically all the soldiers, the soldiers aren't really in the know. It's the ones underground that are in the know, and we never get to see those people. But basically suddenly all of these missiles are launched. Yeah, these massive nuclear missiles just firing out the ground. There's like a couple of hundred of them or something like that, 140 something, I can't remember now. But all across like Missouri, Harrisonville. I was going to say Jacksonville, but Harrisonville. Yeah, and they're just all basically, they were given the order for nuclear strike. There's this kind of thing going on through the movie. It's like, who fired first? Did the US retaliate, or were they like, they started the conflict? It's not really known. It's not really about that sort of thing. It's about the aftermath and the consequence of the nuclear war. So basically you have this over Kansas, this nuclear warhead is detonated, and it cuts out all the machinery, all the lighting in the hospitals, all the electronics everywhere, all the cars, the starter motors and everything. Obviously everything just cuts out, and then there's these big like explosions, and it's just decimated like the main cities. It's just destroying all over. It's it's pretty kind of like graphic. You can see like Threads uses from this quite a lot, the British one. As many of you who probably seen this movie will most likely have seen Threads. I saw that as a school kid when I was about 11 or 12. That's how the English education system worked at the time. It freaked me out. I think it freaked everyone out, kind of. But so all this is going on. And then it's just the utter destruction of everything. And then obviously the nuclear fallout, the radiation and everything. And we follow our characters. I can't remember if I mentioned that we have a youngish John Lithgow in here. We have a young Steve Guttenberg, among others. And yeah, we're following our doctor. He's he's going to the hospital to help. Obviously, everything is just overrun. Like, everything is overrun. Nothing was prepared, and yeah, it's just dealing with the consequence of what would happen. It's interesting at the end of the movie. It's like these kind of situations have been kind of ramped up. The worst case scenario, if a nuclear attack probably happened, probably wouldn't be this bad. But I think with how things are, it's like, I think it's maybe scarily a pretty good prediction of how things could be. I remember seeing this several years ago, and the impact was like fine. It's like, but this time it's kind of impacted a bit differently, because I actually, I'm not Finnish, but I actually do live in Finland, and yeah, it's on the border of Russia, and obviously there's lots of escalation going on at the moment with Finland joining NATO, and then Sweden joining NATO, and Putin very against NATO sort of thing, and obviously his whole like invasion of the Ukraine and things like that. So it's quite interesting, and at the same time becoming a father also, it's very different. Like, the fear is of the war, but the fear is no longer of yourself. It's passed on to your children. You fear for your children, sort of thing. And it's kind of it's really impacted quite well, this movie. Like, yeah, it's very interesting. Kind of think it's a bit of a leap, this, but you jump to the movie Robot Jocks, for example, Stuart Gordon's Robot Jocks, where war is outlawed. You're not allowed to have war. You got to fight for everything you want in these Robot Jocks. How awesome would that be? I mean, you don't have these massive, horrendous wars going on, which killing thousands upon thousands of people. But anyway, with the movie, yeah, it's I mean, it's I've nearly said, I was going to say Russ Meyer again, Nicholas Meyer. I mean, we know what he can do. I mean, I'm not a Trekkie. I don't particularly heavily. I've seen pretty much most of Star Trek movies, but I really do love Wrath of Khan. I thought, oh, that's a fantastic movie, and he knows what he's doing, and he brings his touch of class to this movie. The effects are a bit not the best. I mean, you think of something such a big scale, I think it's very hard to achieve, especially in like 1983. The effects, it's a bit of a difficult one. But yeah, there we go. I think that's the end of the review. I think that's enough. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend that you check it out. And maybe if you have seen it many years ago, you like try watching it again, and maybe your viewpoint and like how you connect to the movie might have changed a little bit with what's happening in the world right now. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.